Good day and good nearly afternoon to everyone. Let's just put the brightness up and switch me into back to front mode or right way round mode now. How the devil are you, everyone? It's a contrasting day from yesterday. The sun is out, the sky is blue. There are some white fluffy clouds in the sky. I'd love for that to have turned into some kind of poetic, rhyming, poemy thing, but unfortunately not. What we can get going today is some linking up moves for your body. And it is the truth and nothing but the truth that to move better, you've got to move a bit more. We've got to tap into our different systems of the body. So the muscular system, the circulatory system, the heart, the lungs, the cardiorespiratory systems, and what we can do about them as well. Sorry, it always happens when somebody phone calls me and then it switches off. It kind of interrupts the internet feed. Hopefully they won't ring back and I can call them later. But for now, here's Odile. Here's Mrs. Perry, and that's it for now. We'll have to get a few more friends in, won't we? We'll give them a couple more minutes and then we'll have to start without them. One thing that you need to grab, you may grab a hairband. Oh, look, it's still got some hair on it. It's not long been taken out of my hair. A hairband or a sock. So a sock that's not too baggy, it's got a bit of elasticated bit there, or an elaggy band. You'll need something like this, something that's got some stretch to it. And we're going to work through some finger grips, hand movements. We'll do a few lumbricals as well. So yeah, get your bits and pieces ready. Yes, some fun accessories, Odile. That's why I came on like 1 or 2 minutes late, is because I was like looking around for some fun accessories to bring to this movement snack. Normally we've got a tea towel. Normally we've got something along those lines. It might be a stretchy thing, a stretchy band or something that you might have with you. But I'm throwing it all out there today. A sock with elastic, a hairband that if you still put your hair up or still have hair to put up, then you can use that, or a laggy band. Grab those, one of those items, that will be fine. You don't need to go on the gather for all of those items. Right, Christine had the boys yesterday, so yep, you're glad to be back for the movement snacks. Odile, thank you. Yes, Neve and I did enjoy the hot chocolate. I had a coffee. It was a bit strong for my liking, but Neve absolutely woofed a hot chocolate cream and what they called smarshmallows. She got them down pretty quick, I can tell you that much. It was freezing though yesterday when we went into town, but we got a good old market haul from the local market there in the city. Right, Carol Kent sorting out the accessories, and Chris, yeah, I don't think we've done lumbricals before, haven't we? And we've done kind of grip strength, but we've not particularly done much with opening out. Of course, we do open out our hands whenever we do stuff with the wrists and grip, but it's normally the release of that grip that we're working rather than pushing against some resistance on the outwards moving, straightening out of the fingers. God, it's 20 past 1. It's not, it's 12:01. We need to shut up and we need to get on with it. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you've got your accessories with you. You're with me, Kelsey Leverton. We're going to start getting started on this 12 noon. And today it's Thursday the 13th of April 2023. Shall we get on with a bit of circulation booster? Come on, come on. All right, so up we come through the posture, tall and straight, standing proud. Let's just get that table hotched out the way, that's better. Feet hip distance, weight evenly spread for now, and then pedaling through the feet, the toes, bending, creasing across your shoes. Same in seated, but just before you do that, you might want to just take a few hip walks forward. So hip and lift, hotch and lift the hip until you find your way to the front portion of your chair and off you set. If you want to try and get a little bit of extra crease across the toes, just nudge your feet back a little bit more. So just a tiny bit more, so the heels are just slightly behind the knees rather than in that normal position underneath the knees. You'll find that you'll get a little bit higher through the lift and the foot pedal there. You'll bend through and crease through the front of your shoe a bit better too. Right, the progression into a leg march. Knees don't need to be too high here, especially if that tends to lean you and roll you backwards a little bit in seated. And in standing, it's the same, just enough lift to allow the toes to part from the floor for that split second. External support, a useful thing to have around you, even if you're not using it all that much. And just the lightest fingertip touch can make all the difference to some of the stuff that you might do here. Right, let's bring in arms. Bend at the elbows, fix at the elbows, so we've got no waggly elbows. And you can see driving the elbow back gets a much better, more pronounced movement from the shoulders than if we were marching like this. The shoulders aren't really moving there, but with the elbows fixed, it makes quite a significant difference. Keep going. You might stay on the spot as you're doing this. I'll just keep switching to different directions. Change your view. I mean, if you want to, you can have a bit of a march round in a quarter turn if you want. Just change your view of the room. Of course, in seated, that won't work so well. So keep going, and then bring it down and take a rest. And at the same time, you'll feel the need to take some deeper breaths. Right, let's have a look at the content of this movement snack then. What we're going to do, I'm going to go straight in there and do the finger movements. If you want to just get your grip prepared, just grab something. It could be anything like a scarf, it could be a tea towel. Look, I've even got a pair of the kids' shorts. Anything. Could even be the curtain if you've really not got nothing close to hand. So let's just get the grip ready. Just squeeze in, relax. Give the fingers a wiggle. Squeeze in, relax. Give the fingers a bit of a wiggle and a waggle if you like. Feel that increasing grip, securing items in your hands of various different sizes, loads, weights. Keeping stuff secure, strengthening through the wrist and through the forearm as well, helping with your lifting and carrying. And moving stuff around, maybe in the kitchen, maybe in the garden when you've got your garden tools, maybe secateurs you're needing to use, trowels, lots of different kind of weeding actions as well, all important for grip and grasp. Hold it there, give the hands a little bit of give yourself a hands up and a really big open out of your fingers, stretching through the palms there. Now for the lumbricals, you'll need something flat to put your hand on. Whether you want to come and sit down at the table in your kitchen, whether you've got a windowsill that you can just place your hand or both hands onto, you can work both hands together if that feels better for you. Now for me, I'm just going to sit in front of you and hold a book underneath my hand and just work one at a time, just so that you can see kind of what's happening in a side profile. So hands are flat on the surface. Hang on, just got an itch. And all you're doing is keeping the fingers straight and letting the knuckles slide upwards. You've got a little bit of a slope downwards, a mountain peak maybe, and then straighten your hand back out, flat palm, and then if you want, try and lift your fingers, extend your fingers so that we're getting both ends of this movement. Bending up, sliding down. You can hear it's kind of stuttering, sliding, stuttering a little bit. The smoother the surface, the less the stutter. Can you feel that? Where can you feel that? Look down, see how your hand's moving. Thumb's not doing very much at this point, although when you try and extend your fingers, lift the fingers off the surface, the thumb will pull up and back as well. One hand might feel a little bit different to the other. Important to keep the hands moving well. Arthritis, stiff joints can kick in, can make them feel stiff, uncomfortable, and less reliable on grip and grasp. There we go. Few on each side. Just give your hands a little bit and your wrists a little bit of a move around there. All right, give your fingers a wiggle. If they've had enough, give them a little bit of a rest. Or we're going to be just using one hand at a time now. Choose your best side if your unbest side is a little bit aching, needs a bit of extra recovery. Right, this is what we can do with the sock. Just place your fingers, just doing the movement, snack Neve. Just place your fingers into the front of your sock. If you've got a hairband, you'll possibly get all of your fingers in there too. If you've got an elastic band, where's mine gone? Providing it's not chopping into your fingers, you could put a little twist around it there so that it stays secure, more secure around your thumb. But we don't want it cutting off the circulation. This is quite a thin band here. So, opening up and closing down. Opening up and closing down. Now we did the put down and pick up yesterday, so if something pings, you'll be able to practice that move again. You'll probably get a little bit more resistance, if you like, against a tighter hairband, a smaller elastic band than you will a sock, for example, but that's still decent. So pushing to open, bringing the fingertips together. Do a few on each hand. You might not need many of these, as we've just practiced a bit through grip and squeeze, whipping and squeezing. We've also just practiced lumbricals, of course, and your hands might not need many of these if they're feeling a little bit of fatigue in them at the moment. Okay, job done. Again, a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a wrist waggle if you like. A little bit of movement around there and job done. Okay, right, you can pop your accessories to the side for now. We're going to just go for the good old faithful next, the sit to stand. Lots of different ways and versions of achieving this, but what we're mainly trying to do is put a bit of focus through the thighs, improve condition, strength through the thighs, which are important when not only standing up out of anything, but sitting back down with control, landing softly, and also any bending down, knee bending motions, stair climbing motions require a bit of extra leg strength. We're going to start at the base position. So you might want to do a few of these as we go through. So a hip walk forwards with feet just nudged back, tucked back slightly. Can we check our heels are on the floor? Because if those of you who are going into standing want that flat foot position there to maintain balance at the top end of the stand. Bring the body forwards a little bit, but lift up through the posture as you do that. So you feel like you're already trying to just lift off the chair, hover over it even. If you're pushing down with your feet into the floor, you'll feel your muscles switching on already. That feels like quite a strong contraction there. So relax down, do a few presses and switch off the muscles from there. If you want to take that into a jockey lift, hands can be on the thighs, slightly more challenging option than having your hands on the side of your chair. We want that mostly going through your legs though, rather than too much emphasis on the arms. The arms are there to guide your movement a little bit. Set it up again. If you're going into a full stand, go now, press and power up, get a good bit of push through the legs. You might just want to adjust your feet when you get to the top end of that movement. Sometimes blood pressure can drop, we can get a little bit of a change there and feel a little bit dizzy. Before you sit down, some of you might be happy to just sit down from this point. Others, you may feel more confident just taking a couple of steps back so that your legs are felt by the chair before sitting down. Now this is a slow movement all the way down. If you find yourself quite far back in the chair, employ a few more hip walks and set it up again. It's all in the setup here. Pushing, powering, lifting, straightening out your posture, catching your balance at the top end of this stand. Couple of steps backwards if you need to. And for those of you who are quite proficient in a sit to stand, find a point to hover. Hover, hover, hover and hold, and then sit down. So we're holding our muscles under that tension, in that knee bend, just for a few extra seconds. Keep going if you can. You should start to feel your thighs working. If you can crowbar in any additional sit to stands, so your hands can be reaching for the chair on your thigh, you could counterbalance your weight by bringing your arms slightly in front of you before sitting. That does notch up the intensity a little bit more. Pushing through. So we need strength, power within our thigh muscles to get us up. And we need that control, the balance, I guess, as well in sitting down. Remember, arms forwards, hardest option on the hold, hands on thigh, slightly easier, hands on chair, slightly easier, and then lower back down. Who's got one more in them? So, an extra few sit to stands every time you either go to stand up or come to sit down. Really notches up the amount over your daily day. Can we do a daily dozen? A daily dozen of sit to stands. or a daily triple dozen, as we've practiced before, with the morning, noon and afternoon options for sit to stands. All right, what was that, George? Thought you was going to give us a Shari Lewis and lamb chop impersonation with the top. I need to look that up because I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm sure many of you do, though. I clearly need to educate myself on that. I was thinking sooty and sweep. I don't know. All right, everyone, I'll leave you with that selection of lovely moves to get on with. Have a good rest of your day. And Bex will see you for the 4 p.m. today because I'm off out now. I'm busy this afternoon. Thanks for the cover, Bex, and we'll see you all tomorrow for the noon and the 4 p.m. from me.